Fantastic. Well, my name is Erin Bernard, and I'm actually from Hammond, Indiana. I've been at 21st Century Charter School at Gary for 12 years now, 11, 12 years now. I've taught kindergarten through 12th grade. Matter of fact, my first job here was I was a learning guide in the science department, and I eventually went over to teaching kindergarten and taught high school English for a little bit, and now I get to teach my love. Teaching in performing arts right now. We just started a performing arts program where we teach theater and dance, and we teach it from 7th grade through 12th grade, and that's actually something I've been doing for roughly about 35 years. I finally get to share with the students my absolute love. I think the reason why I teach at 21st Century Charter School at Gary is because these children are me. I'm from this area, born and raised Northwest Indiana. I had the blessing of being able to go to a private school majority of my life, and I want to make sure that the students in our area are able to get that education, whether, especially if they're not able to afford it, they should be able to get that same type of education, that same expectation from their teachers, that same expectation in the building, that same standard, that same culture in a building. And so I want to be here because I want to give that to those students. The class of 2017 is very near and dear to my heart. Today is a very emotional and exciting day for me. I've had the opportunity to have them from their freshman year all the way up until now, and I've seen them grow into adults. I remember their first year. Matter of fact, this our new building, I still call it the new building, but they're the first class that actually started as freshmen in this building. So they've had 4 total years here, and I remember their first day in class, and they're sitting there in their desk, and you could have heard a pin drop. They're a little nervous and anxious and excited, and I think that's part of what has given them the power to be one of the most productive classes we've had here at 21st Century since we've been here. They had that excitement. They had that yearning to want to learn more. They asked questions. They were my question class. They had no problem with raising their hand or asking me after class. I think I probably spent more hours after school with this class than any other class I've had in the past year at 21st Century Charter School at Gary. And I just think about the times when, when this class, another thing with them is that with them doing their college courses, they would come in and have questions about their college work. And I remember freshman year, Raven coming in, her first couple papers, she would have an Ivy Tech, and she'd say, "Hey, Ms. Bernard, this looks a little bit about what we did in class, but it's definitely on another level. What can we do?" And, some of the times she taught me some things because I had to realize, hone my skills when I was in college. Like, okay, what did I do to help me get through this? And I didn't think that as a high school teacher, I would be sharing those skills so early, but she was ready. So we did a lot with writing her papers her freshman year, and ever since then, I hadn't seen her because she'd been going and flying away and doing, getting her college coursework. And a lot of the other students that I still have students that are coming to me asking me questions about things that they can do as far as pursuing their associates. Questions about, social things in college, not just about, classwork. How should I sit in class? What should I do here? It's a little bit different from high school. And so it was just a joy to be able to share that with them and to see them today walk across that stage with 2 degrees. I definitely think one way that we support our students who are taking dual credit is, number one, their scheduling. The way their schedule was set up for their college courses, they would do their college courses and they would have like different study halls where they're able to sit down and do their work, and then some of the time it's times when we're free, and so we would have our planning, and so sometimes we would volunteer time to kind of help them do their college work then. And I felt that was one of the best things we could have done, is because in college you do have that time to be able to do your work, as well as teaching them time management. You have this extra hour, during the day, sit down and go and do your work. And so I think that definitely, besides myself and all of my colleagues, would have no problem with, fitting students in to help them with their work and extra time and things like that, staying after. I know one of my colleagues stay after quite a few hours to help our students to do what they need to do. I even had some about maybe a couple of years ago, they would actually meet them at the campus and sit down with them and work with them on their assignments. I've even talked to their college professors directly, just so I can get some clarity on some of the assignments sometimes. And I think that was one of the things that I know helped them, because they're able to say, okay, these professors are people. we can talk to them. So teaching that relationship, I think with growing up and being a high school student, is that there's that, change in their mind when they realize that a teacher is not just a teacher, they're a professor. And so I can actually go to this person and they have office hours and I can go talk to them. So kind of helping to be a liaison between the student and their professor, so they have that communication there that sometimes as a high school student might be a little bit challenging or sometimes scary at times. Absolutely.
A little bit more.
Absolutely. Some of our students that were taking college classes would stay after with some of the teachers here at 21st Century Charter, a lot of times after school. Even during our planning periods, their schedules generally sometimes would, the student schedules generally would sometimes match up with their study hall times, whereas we'd be able to go in and tutor them and work with the students the college students on their college coursework. Sometimes some of my colleagues at 21st Century will be able to contact some of the professors at Ivy Tech and even help the students to communicate with their professor. Sometimes as a high school student, that might be something that's a little more challenging, sometimes a little scary. And so a lot of my colleagues, we would call the professors directly and say, hey, we have this student who's a dual credit student in your class. Can you explain to us a little bit what the assignment is so that we can kind of work through with the students on their assignments.
Awesome, thank you.
One of the experiences I can remember is one of my students who, during her sophomore year, she realized that she was pregnant. And I remember the day that, sometimes students know and then they come in and talk to us as teachers and, they kind of, sometimes there's a little bit of embarrassment. Sometimes they just don't know how to tell us. What they don't realize is we love them regardless. We love you, no matter what you're going through. Let me help you get through it. And so when she came to tell me, what was going on, and she was telling me about how, planning it would go for the rest of the year, she was really nervous about, getting her work and finishing her final and a whole lot of different things. And I literally, and this wasn't the first time this had happened with the student. And so for me, I wanted just to comfort her and say, you're not the only one, all right? Life happens and it's gonna continue to happen. And so it's awesome to see her today walking across the stage, especially in a moment when she didn't think that she could. And it's not, like, again, I can't take the credit for that alone. There's been many teachers after me after that year, but I definitely, I'm thankful that she continued to push on and she's finishing up today.
Awesome, thank you. What your thoughts are?
Absolutely. I really believe that, the class of 2017, they are facing a lot more than I ever could have faced when I was going away to college. The economy is changing, and the level at which the expectation of education is considerably growing for when they graduate. And so I think it is absolutely awesome that they're able to get that head start. If they can handle it, go for it. Why not? Why hold them back and not give them what's due and what they can handle? And so I think definitely prepares them, whereas they don't have that confusion when they first hit the campus. I remember my first time sitting down looking at a syllabus, and I went to a college prep school and literally my mind was blown. And so I just think it's awesome that they're getting ahead of the game. And the thing is, if they're getting their degree earlier, they're able to get better jobs. They're able to get better jobs. They're able to provide for their families more. They're able to put themselves in a better position for the rest of their life. And so I'm just really excited to see what the future holds for this group of students. Financially, my goodness, they're not going to be in debt. Wow. I wish. So it's really a blessing that, they're able to, just get that jump start on life. Why not, if we say we educate students, why not say we really educated them? We really put them a step above everybody else so they can do that much better.
Yeah, awesome.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I just want to say to the class of 2017, definitely continue to pull and to grasp and ask for information. Continue to be those people that will not just sit by and allow life to pass you by. Continue to be honest. Continue to have good character. This class, best character ever. So just continue to have good character. Continue to be the people that you've been raised to be. Be honorable. Represent 21st century. Represent the 21st century student and the standard that we hold here. Wear that name proudly. wear that Cougar name very, very proudly, and continue. This isn't the end. So we've got our associates, we've got our bachelors. Keep going. So.